Welcome. I'm glad you came back. Welcome to Seattle Connected, the show that connects you with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community, letting you know who they are first before they become household names, right? Yes. Today's guest, we have a serious discussion that we're going to have, very important for the community, and we're going to go right into it. So please welcome Shantel and Paul from
Urban Family.
Yes. Welcome, you guys. How are you?
Good to be here.
Yeah, good
Thanks
to have
for the
you.
invite.
Oh, of course,
Yes.
anytime. Yeah, I've been hearing so much about Urban Family and the work that you're doing with partnering with City of Seattle and King County. So I was like, man, we got to have this discussion because it's something that is really important that's going on, and we got to find solutions, and not just point fingers. So thank you guys for being here. So yeah, can you just hop right in and tell us about Urban Family?
Sure. Again, I'm Shantel Patu. I'm the executive director and co-founder of Urban Family. We are a nonprofit that serves Southeast Seattle and Skyway, also parts of Renton. We are an organization that is rooted in youth mentorship, family support, and community safety. A big portion of what we're talking about today is regarding our community safety piece. We have work that we do in the city of Seattle that's called the Seattle Community Safety Initiative. And then for King County, we do what's called the Regional Peacekeepers Coalition. And in those, our teams provide safety support in the form of safe passage, which is a method we use of making sure kids get to and from school, and that while they're in school, we provide safety support. And then we also provide critical incident response. Sorry, just a disclaimer, my grandbaby is in the studio today, so
Yeah,
if you're
shout
curious
out
to see
to
my
her.
grandma face
Shout
pop
out
on,
to her.
Yeah.
yeah, just making sure that she leaves things alone and sits still, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Where was I? We provide safety support and safe passage and critical incident response, which is responding to actual acts of gun violence in our community, providing support for the families, victims, and and supporting the community, making sure that people feel safe, connected, and cared for.
Wow. That's a lot.
So that's a technical answer.
Okay.
But really, we are from Seattle. I was born and raised right off of Rainier Avenue, south end of Seattle.
Okay.
And my wife is from West Seattle, High Point neighborhood.
Okay.
And so our work really stems from us being a product of our environment, both in a good sense and in a not so good sense, right? And so a lot of our work emanates from the work my parents and Chantel's grandmother kind of laid the foundation for, which is community work. Centers around our love for young people and their families. And so when it comes to the issue of gun violence, is really a human issue. It's our city has been infected with this virus of gun violence for many years. And so, one might ask, well, what is 100 Days of Peace all about? I think the real question is, why are we even having this conversation about 100 Days of Peace? What does it actually point to, right? And there are deeper issues. What we're seeing now in terms of the uptick in gun violence is the fruit of broken systems that have been broken for a long time. And so the work that we do, as great as our work is, the reality is that we're at a place where the 100 Days of Peace is really about us saying to our community, we can't do this work alone. We do really good work. We have seen lives changed. We have seen young people who were a menace to society turn into pillars of their community over the course of years of healing, years of therapy, years of programming to get them to a healthy place to where they now can contribute. But this work is, people want to say, oh, 100 days, it's going to be fixed in 100 days. That's not it at all.
No.
That's us saying we need help. As good as the work that we're doing, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Because systems have been broken for many years, right? Issue of poverty, poor schools, housing insecurities, food insecurities. This is us saying we need our city to come together and work with us to get after this issue. So,
yeah, it's a huge dilemma that affects so many people. So I think it's unfair to expect one organization to just take care of everything.
absolutely.
Because this isn't something that just happened overnight. This is years and years and years of neglect in so many ways. But you have to start somewhere and say, okay, well, we have to brainstorm, come together. Part of finding the solutions is seeing what doesn't work. And I think that is key. Like you said, we need help, and who better than the people in your own community to help with this. How did you guys come up with the 100 Days of Peace?
Well, well, honestly, the 100 Days of Peace was really a call to action.
Okay.
And it was us saying we have to really focus our efforts on extending the invitation to our community and the people in our city that not our efforts are great, but as great as they are, we've never seen violence to this degree. And coming out of COVID and George Floyd, it really set the stage for pushing things that have been neglected to the surface in our city. And you can see it at every level, right? Downtown Seattle, the homelessness issue, like everything is coming to a head. And so this is, the idea of the 100 Days of Peace is that this is our call to action. This is our cry and our plea to our community. Join forces with us. We have to cross the aisle, so to speak. We have to work with law enforcement. We have to work with city government. Like we really, those things that we're kind of, uncomfortable because the trust hasn't fully been built, we have to risk everything so that something can happen. And so this is our kind of plea for support from our community, from our city. So
yeah,
we've been saying this quote in almost any opportunity that I can get to say it. We've been saying it, and it says, "A child that does not feel embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth." This work is not just about what I almost want to quote John F. Kennedy and say, ask not what we can do for your what the community can do for your family, but what can your family do for the community. It's time for people to look in their homes. It's time for those aunties, those uncles, those cousins that have relationship with these youth. This is a call to action to them.
Yeah.
We're saying, you know what? We can't always find some of these kids, but you can, because they still respect you or they look up to you. And we need your support to tap into that we can get access to these kids, to give them some support, resources, therapy, job opportunities, education opportunities. They just need to know that somebody's there. And it starts with an ear that they're willing to, starts from someone they're willing to hear from. And this is a call to action to say, we want 100 days of this. Obviously, we can't get 100 consecutive days, but this is a start. Let's give us 100 days. And then now we have 200 days. I mean, we do this 365 days a year. Well, we do have some holidays.
Yeah.
But we stay in community. We're not just doing this from the tops of skyscrapers looking down on our community. We're in the community serving our youth and families. And we look forward to the people that are going to come up and stand beside us so that we can make a difference. And that's what this is.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. Yeah. So 100 days of peace, and you would like to see 100 days of action, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also, as part of the 100 Days of Peace, we just launched at a football game. Was one of our first events is a campaign called the Four Peace Community Campaign. So, Four Peace. Four Peace is really, and now mind you, it was at a Little League football game.
Yeah.
And one might ask, why would you pull up at a youth football game to promote this community safety campaign? Well, last year, one of the most sacred times in our community is Little League football games, where the whole family comes out to enjoy Little League sports.
Yeah.
And everyone is there. Grandma's there. The little ones are there.
Yeah.
And just last year, there were 3 shootings at a Little League game. Let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
The place where the whole family is now in jeopardy because a few of us, for whatever reason, thought it necessary to bring your peace to a Little League football game. And so this is the call to action. Like, this epitomizes why we need an initiative to raise the consciousness and raise awareness to this issue, because it impacts all of us, right? And so we launched it at this campaign. Now there are it's kind of a play on words, right?
Yeah.
And so Seattle Connected for Peace, right?
There you go.
Urban Family for Peace, Community Passageways for Peace, Southeast Network for Peace, the YMCA for Peace.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that you join this family of support to get after this issue. And so there are basically 4
I want to go into
different components. And this is just kind of basic. If you are caught in a situation where there's gun violence, these are the 4 things, right? The first step, 4 steps that it centers around. The first step is to stay alert, be mindful of your surroundings at all times, right? Second step is seek safety, move to a secure location with others, right? Third thing is report it. Call 911 immediately, see something, say something.
Right.
Now this one's interesting, right? Especially in the urban communities. We have these barriers that don't actually serve us, right? And so the act of, the code in the streets is snitching, right? This is not what we're talking about, right? Snitching is if you and I decide to do a crime, and you get, and then I get caught, and you get away,
right,
and I tell on you,
right? That's
legit snitching.
Yeah,
you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
right?
there's and I've had this discussion with others where I said, you have to understand there's a difference between snitching and doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
If something was to, God forbid, happen to one of your loved ones, it's my duty. Because I would want you to do the same for one of my loved ones.
Absolutely.
Now, the snitching aspect, like you said, if you and I both sign up to do something, we know the repercussions is we can go to jail, whatnot. You have to wear that. You knew what you were doing was in the wrong. Right. So don't try to tell on me to get a lighter sentence. See, that's different.
Right. But we have to re-educate our people, right, in knowing the difference.
Yes.
This is protection.
Right.
This is you taking care of your family. As a man, this is me protecting my family.
Yeah.
Right? If someone's outside stealing my wife's car, you gonna call it snitching if I call the police to arrest the person that's doing that?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or, so anyways.
I know.
The third step is report it, right? And then the fourth step is to support one another, right? This idea that the look out for each other, right? Yeah. Neighbors looking out for each other.
What were you going to say, Shantel?
I was just going to add on to how community views, when we were talking about just the kind of the scope around snitching, is they're not really looking at how what affects one of us directly affects all of us indirectly. So yes, you saw something, didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now that whole family is grieving. Now the neighbors are affected by the family's grief, whether in whatever way, shape, or form that feels like. The impact of that is felt.
Yeah.
And we can't just as a community keep acting like the death of these children, the death of these babies, is not affecting all of us. Regardless if it happened in your home, directly in your family or not, everyone takes pause and grieves knowing that a child's life was ended, period.
Yeah.
And that needs to be, people need to take that more serious.
You mind if I bring her here?
Yeah, of
Come here, come
course.
here. She'll be more still here.
Yeah, I got you.
Come here, baby. All right, so you're going to be on a podcast.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to be on your best behavior, okay?
Well,
She's not
she's
doing too bad over there by herself.
there. She
but-
goes. That beautiful jacket on. Yes. Welcome.
What's
Welcome
your
to
name,
Seattle
baby?
Connected.
Peace, Rodan.
Peace, Roden.
Can't
So-
hear if you talk with your hands in your mouth.
Peace, Rodan.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Yes.
So her name is Peace. And we thought it appropriate to bring her today.
Yeah.
Not only are we on grandparents' duty, but
Okay.
the symbol of her name means a lot. She was conceived in 2020
Okay.
at the height of chaos,
Yeah.
and her parents wanted to name her something symbolic of the era and what is needed for
What
the
is
era.
needed.
Yeah.
And so they named her Peace, which we thought was
Man.
interesting. But yeah, I think it's fitting that she's here with us.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming to Seattle Connected, Peace. Glad to see you here. And if you'd like to contribute to the conversation, let us know, okay? All right. Thank you. Now, I was thinking about when you were talking about, how these things are affecting us and I mean like children.
Mm.
And it makes me think about how crazy it is whenever I see a newspaper and it shows,
Okay.
obituaries for people who have passed, and I see a age gap, right? Where you'll see people who are great grandparents and, they lived this long, fruitful life. And then you'll see people that are literally babies. You're like, I got CDs that are older than you in my garage, and it's just like, God, something has to be done because it seems like it's a cycle. And like you said, it unfortunately has only gotten worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Part of the messaging for peace, what sits at the center of it is love.
And
It's
the lack thereof.
our love for community.
Yeah,
And then, like my wife said, the lack thereof.
Yes.
Right? Is that we have to, if it is true that the young people themselves are now becoming the perpetrators of this violence, what do we need to do to restore their humanity? How do we make a human connection and not just throw them away like everything else, right?
right.
I think we need to be about connecting with those kids before they pick up a gun. Now, one of the things that struck me as interesting, we were at an interview about this work, and I was asked why did I think that young people are starting to pick up guns and be perpetrators of violence. And then I thought to myself that it is guns. There's more access to guns and drugs in our community than there are positive opportunities.
That's true.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
I can't get a job, but I can get a gun
easy.
and drugs. Something's wrong with that picture.
Yeah,
And so I think we need to be about creating these pathways of access to basic needs, right? So that young people, you can restore their humanity by caring for them. And I think, whenever you think of a young person that's gotten to the place of where they no longer see the humanity in other people, that's what makes shooting possible.
yeah,
Because if they saw their sister or their little sister or their little brother on the end of that, it wouldn't be a gun involved,
right.
right?
Yeah,
So
That's that lack of love you had mentioned. Man.
That there's a scripture that says, "There rose a generation that knew not God." I believe is, if I quoted it right.
Hmm.
And if you take out, religion and just say there rose a generation that knew not love, um, these kids do not feel loved, whether they have tumultuous situations in their homes, whether both parents are there or not there, whether they're being raised by grandparents. Um, a rising piece is parents are so attached to their phones. They are not giving these kids the needed attention that they're looking for. And some of this is them seeking the attention of anyone. And it unfortunately is somebody that they're looking up to that also carries guns. You'll see, like when we go to date night every Friday, and we look around the restaurants and you'll see people, they're always on their phones. I mean, there is no connection. It's us being in proximity of each other and not spending any quality time. We take our kids in our program, we take them to do things around the community, do things around the city, the state even. And recently we took a young man that has been heavily involved in a lot of gang activity his whole life. His family's entrenched in it. He's only known kind of this gang lifestyle. And we took them to the pier and they went on the water taxi and they got to do Wings Over Washington and the Great Wheel. And he said, "This is what childhood should feel like." He said, "I didn't know what I was missing out on." He said, "I just want to be a kid again." He's only 17. Our parents are forgetting that, yes, life is lifing. Yes, adulting is hard. But you are raising children who need to feel like children. We got kids that we give stipends to for internships, and they're paying light bills with their little money, with their little Visa cards. Parents are not making sure they have quality and nutritious food. Kids are eating Takis for breakfast, and you wonder why they have behavior issues or why they're acting out in school. There's no nutrients. They're dehydrated because they're drinking soda and colored drinks instead of any water.
Right.
They don't eat fruit or vegetables, and you wonder why they're on the spectrum and they have all these different all these acronyms after their name that are not related to degrees.
ADD,
They can't make a
ADHD.
cognitive decision. They
Yeah.
can't use reasoning because they don't have anything nutritious to give them that power. So yes, they are out here doing everything that they see other people do, or the video games are showing them to do, or the movies are showing them to do, because that's who's raising them.
Yeah, and it's really a holistic solution that we need, which is the reason why we need everyone. Because, while we're mentoring and doing those things and finding opportunities, the families need support, right? They need livable wage jobs to be able to provide for their families. They need therapy and real, real counseling and
Yes.
therapy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that's real, and also I think gun education, like not just going out, like these video games or these action movies where it's like, hey, I just got a gun. If someone looks at me, I'm about to just fire off. Someone didn't like my Jordans, I'm about to fire
Absolutely.
off. Just the recklessness of it.
Absolutely. Well, that's the other thing is accountability by corporations that are making millions upon millions of dollars off of our young people's entertainment, and they're feeding them death. I mean, these kids are being trained how to be child soldiers through a video game.
Yeah.
And so the act of getting a gun and playing that out in their mind is not far-fetched because, I'll get another life. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Could start over, just
But in real life,
reset.
you don't get another life.
No.
Like, this is it, you know? And so being able to make that human and then holding these corporations accountable, like it has to be a holistic solution. And even the artists, and I'm not for, I believe in, artistic expression, but there has to be some kind of censorship and some kind of, it just can't be an open season on our young people's development. Like that can't be a thing, And so when we say we need everyone's help, we literally mean everyone.
Everyone. 4-Piece Community Safety Campaign. The 4-Piece Community Safety Campaign is a youth-focused initiative designed to reduce gun violence in Seattle through education, awareness, and community empowerment. The campaign emphasizes 4 key steps to safety. So, like you spoke about earlier, this is you got tools right here.
Hmm.
You know, man.
There's a little bit more of a breakdown on that on
Yeah.
the landing page.
On
And
our
so
website.
it's on our website. If folks want to get
urbanfam.org.
involved, feel free to log on to urbanfam.org.
So, for those watching now, what's something they can do to give you the support you're asking for from the community?
Absolutely. Well, we always kind of boil it down to your time, your talent, or your treasure.
Mm.
And so, if time is what you have available, come and support, volunteer, right? We have events throughout the year. We have different opportunities for volunteer engagement to get deeper into the work and to support at every level. What's the next one? Talent, right? If you're, whatever your talent is, I'm sure in some shape, form, or fashion, we can connect it to the work, right? No matter what that is, right?
Yeah,
And
we're
so,
hiring for community safety specialists too.
yeah,
so.
we
Okay.
have some openings in our organization. We're looking for good people that love kids, love community, and want an opportunity to express that through this work. And then the last one is treasure, right? You may not have the time, you may not have the talent, but you got a few ducats,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could contribute
Okay.
to powering some of the work. And there are some people that are watching that can cut a check for young people to experience camp, something as simple as camp
Yeah.
and fishing, and which, by the way, we're hosting peace camps. And the peace camps are designed to get kids that are on the trajectory to gun violence out of the city and into God's green earth, and to be able to touch something real. They're designed specifically for kids that have experienced trauma and maybe have been a victim of gun violence or perpetrator of violence. And so the camps are basically, we do need support there as far as financial support, as well as therapists. We have therapists that will be coming as well, and so peace camps will be happening later on in the year. So yeah.
I know a couple of therapists of color who I think would be interested in too.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll talk off camera. Do you have dates already set for the camps, or when you're trying to?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in October.
All right.
It'll be on our website soon. So.
Yeah. Wow. Man. So much to cover, but I know the work's ongoing. It's like you said, 100 days, that's a start. Let's get to 200, 300, then it's an everyday thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys so much. And
What else? I would also we brought up about with gun safety is also for gun owners to be responsible with their guns. So one of the things we do is we partner with King County to provide gun lock safety boxes, so that people can lock their guns up in their homes or in their cars, so that kids that are burglarizing people's homes and cars, that they don't have such easy access to these to different weapons.
One of the statistics of that.
There's a large percentage of the guns on the street that are involved in shootings are stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a large percentage of the guns used in criminal activity are stolen. And so, and that's what I'm saying, like a holistic response. It can't just be one or the other, but really being thoughtful about, how we get ourselves out of this hole that our society's dug us in. We need society to help us now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Huh. Wow. Well, thank you guys so much. Before you guys leave, can you let the people at home know how they can reach you? Just show some support, or just give you guys a pat on the back, or if they have any questions, let them know how they can reach you and
absolutely.
and what's going on.
Well, our name is Urban Family. When we say family, we mean the family part. And so join the work, become cousins of the work, aunties and uncles in the work. And whatever your time, talent, or treasure is, we will plug you in. once you family, you family.
Yeah.
And so, but you can reach us at www.urbanfam.org. Anything for you?
Well, you
Our
said it all, but
fearless leader.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. But yeah, check out our website. The family moniker is not, it's not something we take lightly, and so we distribute it as far as giving the community a sense of family and our team a sense of family. And we're an entire network, by the way. It's not just one org that is providing all this support. We partner with some really strong organizations to provide the work.
Get some shout outs there.
We have Southeast Network Boys and Girls Club, which is known as the Be Safe Bros over in Rainier Beach, and we have Community Passageways and their deep dive team. We have YMCA and their Live and Free team. There's Progress Pushers, Freedom Project, and I think there's
Choose 180.
Choose 180 as well. There's a bunch of us out there trying to make a difference in this entire kind of King County corridor, from I want to say Auburn to parts almost Shoreline now.
Shoreline, North Seattle.
Yeah, it takes a village, and this is a call to action to say we need the entire village. It's time for everyone to step up.
Yeah.
Stuff, girl.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah. Peace, would you like to say anything before we go? You sure?
You say bye-bye? She's falling asleep over there.
Yeah.
Nice. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Well,
you get a treat. You ready to go get one?
oh, man. She's going to perk up a treat. Man, I need to treat myself. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by. And please, anytime you want to come back.
Nice.
And I thank you guys for actually doing the work and not just sitting back saying someone needs to do something. Well, I thank you guys for doing it, and I know this is going to inspire someone else to step up and do something, and then encourage someone else to do something. So thank you guys so much, and just keep it up, and Seattle Connect is here for you. Time you need us.
Nice.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. And I appreciate you and you and you. Thank you guys for watching. And like I always say, it's important to take care of others, but please make sure you take time to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Until next time, stay connected. Peace.